Going over our Saturday morning research, I'm going to go over the drawdown curve and the new Zig Zag indicator, show you where we are. We are down 17,800 on the month per E-mini after this portfolio said it was up 38,740. It's been a tough 2022. We were trading the 200K and 50K portfolio. We've transitioned to this on the micros, 2 micros on the 200K and 1 micro on the 50K. Tried to up that leverage on the 200K yesterday, but we were down on the day about $1,200 per micro, 12,000 per E-mini, so we were down 1,200 per in the 50K account and about 3,600 in the 200K account because we increased our position sizing into that drawdown, and we are right at that bounce point on the drawdown curve. I'm going to stop trading right here and take a research break. The level of volatility and turning points is too high, and you see this drawdown curve. It came here and it bounced, and it did not make new equity peak. So previously it's been here before, but every time it's been here before, it's never bounced that high and come back without making equity peaks. So every time it comes down here, it makes equity peaks. If it bounces that high, it usually makes equity peaks before it comes back down. So you see this level right there. It always bounces and it always makes equity peaks before it comes back down to this level. So it bounced, it did not make an equity peak, and it came back down to this level before making new equity peaks. And so I'm going to pause my own trading and my managed trading, and so I'm going to pause right here for a research break as we continue to adjust this volatility. It's just massively extreme in 2022 to new levels of volatility, and I'm going to show that to you, explain that to you. But this is where we are, and I'm pausing trading. You can do so on your side. We've added a Zig Zag indicator here, and what this does is if you type 1 in this, then it filters out average zigzags. If the average zigzag is greater than this number, it will eliminate trade. So in your real trading, if the average number of zigzags in any one day of the last 10 days on average was greater than this number, then you would stop trading until it goes back below that. And you can test different numbers here. If it's greater than 10, we'd be at an equity peak right here. If we stop trading when the zigzag average is greater than 10, we would be up 20K in January. We would have stopped trading on January the 10th. So we would stop trading on January the 10th and still not be trading. If you can see a lot of empty months here, the net profit is much lower. But it's this number right here. Total profit over drawdown is much lower. If you set this to 20, this number goes up. You trade more. You're at a 55K drawdown, and so you can test different zigzags. These are the number of 1/3 of 1% turning points in the last 1/3 of 1% turning points in the last 10 days on average. If it's above a certain threshold, and that comes from our zigzag indicator. Here is the number of zigzags based on 50-point turning points. We're at new levels right here. You see that hit new levels in 2020. We're at new levels now. So even though based on 1/3 of 1%, we're at normal high volatility levels, dollar amounts matter in trading. There's human traders in the market. When volatility massively spikes, the dollar effect is an adjustment in trading systems, and markets act differently. And so that's what we're experiencing right now. That's why we're seeing some worst case drawdowns in some of these portfolios, for example. And so you can play with this zigzag indicator. I'm going to pause trading until I can get a better handle on this current volatility. We've done this before. We did this in 2020, a little bit in the pandemic, and I think the market's even harder now than in the pandemic because it made sense. Some of the things that were happening in the pandemic made sense, and now the market makes a little bit less sense. It's a little bit harder to grasp with what is happening with monetary policy. The current monetary policy is still very dovish. Fed is still expanding its balance sheet, and interest rates are still zero, even though they claim that they will be more hawkish in the future. We haven't seen it yet. The market has sold off on that. Probably should have sold off some more. We have Russia versus Ukraine. And so higher levels of volatility, new index levels. And so we're just going to be conservative conserve capital and take a research break. I'll be actively researching the markets, and I wanted to share that with you today. You can go over the latest portfolio calculator. Some of you are interested in trading a limited number of these strategies. I've had feedback where some of you are doing your own research based on the CVIX filter, based on the Zig Zag filter. I'm going to show you where those are. I sent those out this week to my email list. So here is the CVIX indicator right here. Here is the Zig Zag indicator right here. And it's in the spreadsheet now as well. I've added the Zig Zag chart here, but I've also added the daily P&L here. So what you would do is if you want to use that indicator over the last, say, if you put the 20 threshold in here and you set this to 1, what you do is you go to the daily P&L and you could highlight the last 10, and it tells you what the average is in Excel. It's 18.5, so you would trade the next day. The last 10 are 18.5. This says you would trade, and so you can see that it was 20 on Friday, but the average is 18.5 over the last 10 days. And so it would still register a trading day if you put this in here. If you use 20 as the threshold, this stopped trading on January the 24th. It started trading again yesterday. So it would trade again on Monday, which is a holiday. And so, but like I said, I am personally going to be taking a research break. I'll be updating the portfolio calculator and sharing my research with you as we adjust. There's a lot of moving parts. I've tested bigger stop losses on some of these strategies, and I've had some additional strategy ideas. And so I need to get those in the portfolio calculator, need to analyze what we're doing here. And then once we have a new setup, we'll wait for a drawdown to start trading again, and I will keep you informed on everything that we're doing with our research. We just want to preserve capital. We don't want to fight with the market while it's acting this crazy. Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.